They deserve each other. My ex-BFF and ex-BF are dating. It started with a text. A simple, stupid text, "Can't wait to see you tonight." It was addressed to Liam, my boyfriend of 2 years, my Liam. Except it wasn't from me. My stomach dropped. It felt like I'd swallowed a lead weight. I stared at the screen, willing it to be a wrong number, a joke, anything other than what it so obviously was. I scrolled through Liam's phone, something I never did, never felt the need to do, and found more. Not explicit pictures or overly romantic declarations, but a steady stream of suggestive emojis, late-night messages, and shared inside jokes I wasn't privy to. The sender, Chloe, my best friend since college. The woman I confided in, the one I considered my sister. I felt a hot wave of nausea wash over me. Betrayal, sharp and brutal, sliced through me. I wanted to scream, to shatter every glass in the apartment. But instead, I did nothing. I waited for Liam to come home, a strange calm settling over me. He walked in, all smiles and easy charm, and asked about my day. I wanted to slap that smile off his face. Instead, I held up the phone. "Who's Chloe?" I asked, my voice dangerously level. He paled. The charm vanished, replaced by a flustered, guilty expression. He stammered, tried to deny it, claimed it was just harmless flirting. I didn't let him finish. I told him I knew everything, that I'd seen the messages. The fight that followed was a blur of yelling, accusations, and pathetic excuses. He blamed Chloe, then blamed me for being too busy with work. He even tried to gaslight me, saying I was being paranoid. Finally, I told him to get out, to take his clothes, his toothbrush, and his lies with him. He left, defeated, but not before shooting me one last, pleading look. I slammed the door in his face. The real pain came later, after the anger subsided. It was the quiet, empty apartment, the realization that two people I loved had betrayed me in the worst possible way. I called Chloe, my voice trembling. I confronted her, and she denied it at first, then broke down, sobbing about how she couldn't help it, how Liam was irresistible. Irresistible. He was a mediocre salesman with a receding hairline and a penchant for wearing cargo shorts. I hung up on her. I couldn't even look at her, let alone listen to her pathetic excuses. I spent the next few days in a fog of grief and anger. I barely ate, barely slept. My parents called, worried. I told them I was fine, just going through a tough time. I confided in David, a colleague at work. He was always observant, always seemed to know when I was struggling. He listened patiently, without judgment, and offered practical advice. "Don't let them win, Sarah," he said. "Don't let them define you." His words resonated with me. I wasn't going to let them win. I wasn't going to wallow in self-pity. I was going to get even, but not in a loud, dramatic way. I wasn't going to key their cars or slash their tires. I was going to play the long game. I was going to subtly, meticulously dismantle their relationship and expose them for who they really were. First, I focused on Liam. He worked in sales, and his success depended on his relationships with clients. I worked in marketing, and I had access to information he didn't. I started subtly steering clients away from him, suggesting they work with other colleagues. I accidentally scheduled important meetings when I knew he had appointments. I made him look incompetent, unreliable. It was petty, I knew, but it felt good. Then I turned my attention to Chloe. She was a personal trainer, and her business relied on her reputation. I signed up for her classes, pretending to want to get in shape. I acted friendly, asked her for advice, and listened intently to everything she said. But I was also watching, observing. I noticed her insecurities, her envy of my success, her desperation for validation. I started subtly planting seeds of doubt in her mind about Liam. I mentioned how he always talked about his type, which definitely wasn't her. I hinted that he might be seeing other women. I knew Chloe was insecure, and I played on that. I also knew she was materialistic. She loved designer clothes, expensive handbags, things she couldn't really afford. I started talking about my own financial success, my recent investments, my upcoming vacation to Europe. I made her feel inadequate, jealous. I also started going hiking. It was something I'd always wanted to do but never had the time. Now, I had plenty of time. I joined a hiking group and met Emily, a strong, independent woman who encouraged me to push myself. Hiking became my therapy, a way to clear my head and find strength in nature. I used social media to my advantage. I posted pictures of myself hiking, traveling, and enjoying my life. I made sure to look happy, confident, and successful. I subtly hinted at Liam's failings, his lack of ambition, his poor taste in clothes. It was all carefully calculated, meticulously planned. I was playing a game, and I was determined to win. One evening, I ran into Mark, Liam's colleague, at a local bar. Mark was a notorious gossip, and after a few drinks, he was more than happy to spill the tea. He told me that Liam was struggling at work, that he was losing clients and missing targets. He also told me that Liam and Chloe were fighting constantly, arguing about money and jealousy. They deserve each other, Mark said, shaking his head. I smiled. It was all working perfectly. I learned that Chloe had a very wealthy client named Jessica, who was notoriously demanding and difficult to please. I also knew that Chloe was desperate to keep Jessica as a client, as she paid very well. I started subtly befriending Jessica, complimenting her on her clothes, her hair, her expensive taste. I made her feel special, valued. Then, I started hinting that Chloe wasn't as attentive as she should be, that she was too focused on her own life to give Jessica the attention she deserved. I suggested that Jessica might be better off working with another trainer, someone who was more dedicated to her needs. I knew that if Jessica left Chloe, it would be a major blow to Chloe's business and her ego. The little acts of sabotage continued. I'd call restaurants and change reservations Liam and Chloe made. Once, I arranged for flowers to be delivered to Chloe's gym, addressed to her from a secret admirer. I made sure the card implied a prior intimate encounter. I even managed to accidentally spill a drink on Chloe at a local bar, earning Liam's ire for my apparent clumsiness. Then came the opportunity I'd been waiting for. Liam and Chloe were invited to a party hosted by one of Liam's clients. It was a chance for them to show off their perfect couple facade, to impress their friends and colleagues. I decided to crash the party. I arrived late, dressed to kill in a stunning red dress. I knew I looked good, and I made sure to catch Liam's eye as I walked in. He stared at me, his mouth slightly open. Chloe glared. I made my way around the room, chatting with people, laughing, and generally being the life of the party. I made sure to talk to Liam's colleagues, casually mentioning his recent struggles at work. I also made sure to talk to Chloe's clients, complimenting their fitness and subtly hinting that Chloe might not be the best trainer for them. Then I cornered Liam and Chloe. I smiled sweetly and congratulated them on their relationship. You two seem so happy, I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. It's amazing how quickly you moved on after you know. Liam turned pale. Chloe's eyes narrowed. What's that supposed to mean? She snapped. Oh, nothing, I said innocently. It's just that I always thought you were my friend, Chloe. I never imagined you'd sleep with my boyfriend. The room went silent. Everyone was staring at us. Liam tried to deny it, but the look on his face gave him away. Chloe started crying, babbling about how it was all Liam's fault. You're a liar, Liam shouted at Chloe. You were the one who came onto me. I hate you, Chloe screamed back. You're a selfish, pathetic loser. Their argument escalated quickly. They started shouting insults, accusations, and secrets they'd been keeping from each other. Their true colors were on full display for everyone to see. I watched, a small smile playing on my lips. My plan had worked perfectly. I turned and walked away, leaving them to tear each other apart. I could hear their screams and accusations echoing behind me. I didn't look back. The aftermath was exactly as I'd predicted. Liam and Chloe's relationship imploded. They broke up in a spectacular fashion, blaming each other for everything that had gone wrong. Liam lost his job due to his poor performance and his tarnished reputation. He was a laughingstock in the office, the guy who got dumped by his girlfriend for his best friend, and then lost everything. Chloe lost clients and her reputation suffered. People whispered about her behind her back, calling her a home wrecker and a gold digger. Jessica fired her, and other clients followed suit. I cut off all contact with Liam and Chloe. I didn't want to see them, talk to them, or even think about them. I was done with them. I focused on rebuilding my life. I continued hiking, spending time in nature, and finding solace in the mountains. I deepened my friendships with David and Emily, who were both incredibly supportive. I excelled at work, proving my competence and resilience. I earned a promotion and a raise. I bought myself a new car, a sleek sports car I'd always wanted. I was happy. Not the naive, trusting happiness I'd had before, but a stronger, more resilient happiness. I had learned a valuable lesson about trust, betrayal, and the importance of standing up for yourself. I never saw Liam and Chloe again, but I heard through the grapevine that they were still miserable, still blaming each other for their failures. They were trapped in a cycle of unhappiness, perfectly suited for each other. They deserved each other, and I deserved better. I'd gotten my revenge, but more importantly, I'd gotten my life back. And this time, it was a life I'd built for myself, one that was strong, independent, and filled with genuine happiness.